What's up guys, Knife Jim here, back with another Scarlet Violet guide. Today we're going to be talking about Iron Hands in depth. Iron Hands is a pretty solid Pokemon. Fighting electric typing is pretty solid, only having 3 weaknesses, which is not bad. It has a very powerful ability. It does have to use your item most likely, unless you put it on a team with Pinsirchin, which you can, but Pinsirchin is not that powerful. Iron Hands is a pretty hard-hitting physical attacker. It's pretty bulky overall, very crazy HP, solid defense. Not the best special defense in the world, but that can be patched up a little bit with some calking. Its attack stat is crazy at 140. That's very powerful. You're always going to be getting your Quark Dive boost on that. I mean, almost guaranteed, right? I mean, you can calc it, I think, to get away from that, but I don't think you would ever want to do that. I think you would just want the attack boost. Iron Hands has a ridiculously deep move pool filled with a lot of good coverage moves and very good setup moves like Belly Drum and Swords Dance and Substitute. And overall, just a really good Pokemon in my opinion. It's definitely showing really high up here on the usage stats as well. We have it right here at number 6 in the monthly rank, currently at about 19%, which is an incredibly high usage stat. 6th place is pretty ridiculous. So without further ado, let's go ahead and talk about the initial build. So I have 2 builds here. Like I said, they don't differ too much. They really only differ in nature currently, and a little bit of IVs, as this one is a Trick Room mon, and the other one can work out of Trick Room. But there's definitely a bit of wiggle room in the EV spreads if you want to calc it a little bit differently. I did just a bit of calking, so there can definitely be some more different calking here, but let's go ahead and talk about it. So for the first build, I have Terra-type fighting just to get really powerful drain punches. You could change this, especially if you want to use a different coverage move, maybe something like a Rock Slide or an Iron Head, or, you know, some other things like it gets Ice Punch, it gets Earthquake and Stomping Tantrum. It gets a lot of moves. We'll talk about that here in a minute with options, but for now, we have Terra-type fighting. I just think this is good. It takes advantage of the Drain Punch, making it really powerful, so you can heal up a lot in the middle of the game. We are using the item Booster Energy here because we're not going to proc it with our Pinsirchin. Like, let's be real. We're going to use Booster Energy here. We have Fake Out, which is crazy. This Pokemon gets access to Fake Out. Close Combat is its strongest fighting stab move. Drain Punch is a very good option for it to heal back up. And then Wild Charge, as it's its best electric physical attack move, that's stab. For our EVs here, we have 252 invest into HP. I just felt like that was the best general bulk. And then we put 52 in special defense to calc for our Flutter Mane matchup. This does live a Dazzling Gleam powered up by Life Orb, which is really crazy, with max special attack here. So very good. I think this is an incredibly powerful calc. But you have Fake Out. You could hit the Chi-Yu and then live the Dazzling Gleam and then set up Trick Room, and that could be crazy. And then we put the rest into attack just to get as very powerful as possible here. 204 here on the attack is pretty crazy. And we also made it Brave Nature, giving us a plus attack and minus in speed. We also minimized its IVs, so it hits that 49, make it really good under Trick Room. And this is, you know, you don't have to do this. You could keep it all the way up here. You could even go Adamant, but that is the difference in these 2 sets. As far as the second set goes, like I said, that is the big difference, is the nature here in the IVs. We have speed just regular here at 70, which is not bad. I mean, it could be worse. It's not great, but it's not the worst in the world. Maximizing its IVs as normal, or giving it the adamant nature instead of the brave, so that you don't lose all your speed. This Pokemon can work well in or out of Trick Room. In this way, if you're not really setting up a Trick Room, this is the Iron Hands build that I would go for. The only other difference here is also going to be that we took away Drain Punch and put in Detect. This, you know, you can go whatever way you want here, and I am going Detect over Protect just in case the Imprison stuff. If you do have access to Detect, it's usually more, you know, a little bit better because it's the same thing. I mean, you have a little less PP, but whatever. And also, if you want to go for the Electric Surge, you know, you have a Pinsirchin on your team, you want to use Iron Hands on your Pinsirchin Trick Room team, that just makes sense. I like that. I think that sounds good. Then you can go for something like maybe an Assault Vest, then take away the Protect and put back on the Drain Punch. Or maybe going for, like, you could Choice Band, but then you lose Fake Out, and you could go Life Orb. There's a lot of different options if you are going to proc your Quark Dive with, you know, the terrain. Until we get Miraidon, I just don't think that's really happening, or if we get like Tapu Koko and DLC. But for now, Quark Dive, we're proccing it with Booster Energy, and that's just what it is. Next, we've got some options. We've got some options here, everyone. We've got some very powerful coverage moves here. We have Rock Slide, and this isn't only a coverage move. Under Trick Room, this Pokemon could be really fast, and then Rock Slide could get us really good flinches, and that could be really good. We have Iron Head as well, which is really strong for like Flutter Mane and a couple other fairy things like Grimmsnarl. You're not really going to want to hit Grimmsnarl with like close combat as frequently, you might want that Iron Head. So that's not a bad idea. We also have Play Rough and Ice Punch. We have Earthquake and Bulldoze for self-proccing, like, weakness policy stuff. We've seen in the past that could work. We have Fire Punch, Stomping Tantrum. It's really good. We have Brick Break, Body Slam. There's a lot of really good moves on this Pokemon, and a lot. It has a very deep move pool for coverage. Now for a setup, we have Swords Dance and Belly Drum, which is pretty crazy. It also has access to Iron Defense and Body Press, so just a lot of really good stuff. And on a base 108 defense, Iron Defense is doubling that, and then you have actually powerful body presses. So you could go for like an Iron Defense, Body Press, Drain Punch, Protect set. Maybe something like that could be really good. And yeah, I think this Pokemon has a lot of different options, and I think it's cool. And there's also different calcs, like maybe you can go more into special defense to block more stuff. I really only went the base for Flutter Mane, Chi-Yu, and like I said, you can fake out the Chi-Yu and then Flutter Mane, you live that attack, and that can all be really, really good. Now, another thing you can calc for is the choice specs instead. So then you could clock your special defense up to 164 to live the choice specs attack, and that would be great as well. So you have a lot of different options here for calcing for the Iron Fist, or the Iron Hand. But for now, I really like this set. I'm liking this set. Let's talk about our calcs. We have a couple of them. First off, we have the Flutter Mane. Like I said, I just changed this calc to live the choice specs. If we go back down to that 52, we are living the Life Orb, which is good. I think it really seems like Life Orb is more frequently played on here if you're not using Booster Energy, which is what I calced it for. That way we could really fit a good bit of attack stat into Iron Hands. And then we also, with that base attack, like we don't even have to invest, we do take that return knockout on Iron Head, so you could theoretically go for that as well if you have like a different fake out user, different fake out Pokemon, hit the Chi-Yu, and then you Iron Head the Flutter Mane, and then you're in a pretty good position, I think. Our next calc is going to be for Roaring Moon, and this is just an interesting calc, I think, being able to go into the Dragon Dark matchup here with the Roaring Moon. You have Drain Punch. If the Roaring Moon does not Dynamax, Terrastalize, then you are hitting 104 to 124 with that 204 attack, and that's without the Booster Energy buff. So if we do clock that up by 1, we're doing ridiculous damage. I know it's a 30%, it's not, well, actually it imitates Life Orb, so we just use Life Orb. That's really good. 136 to 162, and this is out, this is without any kind of bulk on the Roaring Moon. So if it does have some bulk, boom, that's different. And if it Terra types into Flying, well, it gets a little messy. But then we have Wild Charge, so pretty good there. But if it doesn't Terra type into Flying, we're seeing it spread all over the place. The Terra type for Roaring Moon. We've also seen Steel a lot. In that case, we still have Drain Punch, really, really good. We've seen Ground some. That would be the worst one for us. That would make us just hitting mid damage here with Drain Punch. But I think that's not the worst thing in the world. And if that's the case, then okay, you better have something else going, right? You could also just have Ice Punch on here, and that hits it always regardless. This isn't doing the knockout, but with Chien-Pao, this is doing almost the guaranteed knockout. So you have a lot of different ways to improve this Roaring Moon matchup, and this is with a ground Terra type, which isn't always going to happen. Our last calc is going to be here for the Dragonite matchup, and the Dragonite matchup, in my opinion, is really positive with Iron Hands. We take an almost guaranteed knockout every time with the Drain Punch here into its Terra typing normal Dragonite. Extreme Speed is doing P damage, 33 to 39. That's nothing. We are not worried about that at all. We have Drain Punch here as well, hitting 92 to 108 here without the boost from Quark Dive. With the boost from Quark Dive, we're hitting 119 to 141, which is just really good. This is with 204 and Brave with the attack buff, or Adamant if you want to go that route. Either way, it's the attack buff. I think this could change in the future with more bulky Dragonite builds. I could definitely see that, so it might change. Iron Hands has good matchups with most Pokemon, and it's a really viable Trick Room option. It's really, really good. I like Iron Hands a lot. Anyway, that is going to be it for the video today. Thanks so much for watching. I will have all these pastes in the description down below, so you can just copy paste it right into Showdown and get playing. Subscribe, please. We're trying to get to 10K this year. I know it's a big goal, but I'm trying to do it. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.